Hi all! I have been using Unity for a year now, and I love the engine because it's really useful and intuitive. I decided to use Unity because a lot of games that I have played were made using it, for example Ori and the Blind Forest or Hollow Knight, so I decided to give it a try. I found that the language that it uses is C#. My code skills were poor, my past games were made using Scratch, and well, you know that Scratch is not a very powerful engine. I also did a tutorial about making Space Invaders using Pygame, and it worked, but it was impossible for me to make something from scratch. When I installed Unity, the first impression I got was, too much text, what can I do with this? So I typed in Google, how to make a game in Unity, and the first tutorial that appeared to me, one of Bracky's, was the one I did. This was the result. The game, as the title says, is about 3 levels in which you are a cube. I know, really nice idea. Then I just thought, what if I make the Pong? And I did it using a tutorial of another guy. I don't remember his name, but it was really useful for me. This was what came up. The first bug I had to solve was in this game, because sometimes the ball bounces in the Z axis, and it leaves the flyable zone. I think all the beginners have made the Pong. Just the best game ever. After making those things, I started my first game, The Grey Path, that had a lot of bugs when I finished it, and that explains why there are 4 different versions of it. The whole game was a bit bad, because you only can move and jump. The level design was limited, but I made 16 levels so far, and it was a success knowing I was a beginner in Unity. At this point I was self-sufficient enough, so no tutorials were needed, and I kept experimenting with the engine as well as making new games. The next game I made was Geometrical Zone, a 3D platformer in which your velocity increases every time, the same as in the Sonic games, but here there wasn't a maximum velocity. Also I created a kind of double jump, and what it basically does is just adding a force downwards to make the player touch the ground. This game helped me a lot to learn about lightning and forces. After making some prototypes, I joined a game jam in August. I was under pressure and the theme was break, so Take a Break was born in that moment, and I used a pathfinding system and also I experimented with UI more than before. This game was a real success. It got the 26th place and a lot of views, appearing in the main page of each, and it was speedrunned by some people. After that, in September and October, I didn't have that much time to make games, although I made a gravity simulation and I also published Freely Solved. Those games showed me the way to simulate things to make them more realistic. However, I experienced my first crashes with Unity. Fortunately, I had a copy of the games, because if not, I don't think they would have been published. In November, I had an idea in the kitchen while I was making a sandwich. It was a puzzle platformer in which you depend on the color, and that's why I created Color Dependent. I learned to clean my code, because otherwise there were lots of if statements, like in games that I have made before. In late December I joined another game jam, with a difficult theme that was resolution. I understood a lot more about cameras and collisions, and I published Drone Resolution earlier than what I expected. Then, in January, I finished a prototype that I had that was Marble Race. It was really easy to do, but I had to calculate distance and that kind of things. Now I am working on Local Island, a 2D adventure game with a level system, so you will have to defeat and collect coins to progress and unlock new abilities. In conclusion, I had a very productive first year with Unity, and I am very proud of what I have made and obviously of the whole engine, really powerful. I can make a series if you want about the making of any of my games. I will do so just for telling the ideas, how was the development and so on. I hope you liked the video. You can play my games using the link in the description. And as always, don't forget to keep playing little games.